Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 2 In Depth. In today's episode, I have something incredible to show off, and that's the dual wield damage buff. Pistols akimbo, or dual wield pistols in Black Ops 2 actually do more damage, and they have increased range in most cases. A recent patch came out which changed the Kap-40 a little bit, and the Executioner is something of an exception. But as incredible as it sounds to say, all pistols, with the exception of the Executioner, actually get increased damage when dual wielded. It's not the initial damage or the middle damage, but the final damage that it gets increased. I'm going to break down each and every gun individually to show you what's going on. And it's not just that it shoots twice. A lot of people like to say, well, it shoots twice, obviously it does more damage. No, each individual bullet that you shoot is actually doing more damage than it would single. It's like you're getting a whole new gun here, and the range is also increased. Some of the pistols have massively increased ranges, some of them have minor increases on range. The Kap-40 is kind of special because that got nerfed in the most recent update, but previously it too had an increased range when used akimbo, minus this most recent nerf. The first pistol that we're going to talk about today is the Five-Seven. The regular Five-Seven damage is 55 to 19. That means it'll kill you in 2 shots up close or 6 shots at a distance. When you run the dual wield attachment on this weapon, the close range damage is still 55, but the long range damage has been increased to 24. It's no longer a 6-shot kill at a distance, but it is a 5-shot kill, and if the enemy is hurt just a little bit, just a smidgen, if they've taken a nick of damage, it could be a 4-shot kill because that's very, very close to 25 damage. On top of this buff, it also gets a triple the 2-shot kill range. The 2-shot kill range on this Five-Seven is very, very short. You have to almost be up in their face. It triples that range, makes it about half of that of the TAC-45 almost, and it is very, very strong. This is the strongest range buff, so it gets triple your 2-shot kill range, and it takes 1 less shot to kill at long ranges. Previously, I didn't really like the akimbo Five-Sevens. I would run the Five-Seven with something like a red dot sight on it to make it more accurate, but now I'm going to say the attachment of choice on the Five-Seven is definitely going to be akimbo because it takes 1 less shot to kill at long ranges. You've got 40 bullets to go through, alternating back and forth, and you have a bigger 2-shot kill range, which was my biggest concern with the weapon anyway. Very, very big buff on this weapon when you run akimbo. Also, of course, if you're doing more damage at long ranges and more damage over range, it could potentially take less headshots to kill. The TAC-45 gets a very similar buff, damage-wise anyway. The normal TAC-45 has the same damage profile as the Five-Seven, 55 up close, 19 at a distance. When you run dual wield, it's 55 up close, but 24 at a distance. Again, same as the last one, 1 less shot to kill at long ranges. And if they're hurt a little bit, or if you're shooting them in the head, it could also be considerably less shots to kill, 3 or 4, sometimes maybe 2. It's crazy how this is going on. The TAC-45 does not get as big of a range buff. It only gets a 25% longer 2-shot kill range. But that 25% longer 2-shot kill range is more than long barrel. So running dual wield on your TAC-45 actually improves it more than long barrel does, not only with the range buff, but the fact that it takes 1 less shot to kill at long ranges. So akimbo is kind of like you get akimbo, or kimbo means dual wield. I confused some people in the previous episode. So it's like you get dual wield and maybe 3 or 4 long barrels, like a super, super, super long barrel on the end of your weapon. I always liked the dual TAC-45s, and now I kind of know why I like them. The B23R, very similar again, except this is a 3-shot kill pistol. It doesn't kill in 2 shots, so it would be 45 to 19 regular. That's the damage. It'd be 3 shots to kill up close, 6 at a distance, or 2 burst. However, when you're running this weapon dual wield, it's 3 shots to kill up close, or 5 at a distance, again with the 24 damage. If they're hurt a little bit, if you shoot them in the head, makes a huge, huge difference in long-range combat. The range buff on this one is considerably shorter. It only gets a 17% buff on the 3-shot kill range, so you get 17% more range. This is very, very close to the long barrel attachment. Matter of fact, it's almost exactly the same as the long barrel attachment. So akimbo, or dual wield B23R, is basically 2 of them plus the long barrel attachment, and it takes 1 less shot to kill at long ranges. Very, very powerful, and I think it's really good. The next weapon, the Executioner, which I didn't bother to get gameplay for today because I'm really not a fan of that weapon. This one actually gets a nerf when you run it dual wield. It gets a 50% reduction in mid-range damage. The damage drop-off curve is very, very steep. It goes down, and it gets a very, very minor reduction in the minimum damage at long range. On top of this, you can't aim down sights to tighten your spread when it's run dual wield, or run the laser sight. So running the Executioner dual wield is a very poor setup. It gets nerfed, the range is nerfed, the damage is nerfed, the spread is nerfed, and I would very highly recommend that you just avoid running this weapon dual wielded. Last up today is the Kap-40. It's a little bit different. It has a very similar profile to the B23R and to the other two. It's 45 damage up close, which is a 3-shot kill, and it drops off to 19 at a distance, which is 6. However, when dual wielded, it's 3 up close and 5 at a distance, or 24 shots to kill at a distance. And I know in the most recent update it said the long range damage was decreased, but this is still consistent. What they did do is they decreased the range. Previously it had the same kind of range buff going on as the other pistols, just proportionally. I think it was the same as the B23R, but I didn't test it. However, now when you dual wield the weapon, it has a 60% shorter 3-shot kill range. That is like a 60% range nerf on the Kap-40 for your 3-shot kill. You have to be very, very close to them to get the 3-shot kill range. But it takes 1 less shot to kill at long ranges. It's no longer a 6-shot kill weapon. It turns into a 5-shot kill weapon, and you've got twice the bullets to spray everywhere. So that feels kind of like a fair trade-off there. That's normal. This weapon gets kind of like a balanced changed, whereas the Executioner gets an extreme nerf, and the Five-Seven, Tac-45, and B23R get extreme buffs. That's what's going on with the Kap-40, but it does increase damage. So in short, dual wield is probably the optimal attachment for the Five-Seven. It's a very good attachment for the Tac-45, and a good attachment for the B23R. Terrible for the Executioner, and it's kind of a balanced trade-off on the Kap-40. But overall, the dual wield attachment, with the exception of the Executioner, is going to increase your damage, and with the exception of the Executioner and the Kap-40, it's also going to increase your range. This is a crazy, crazy powerful attachment. I had no idea these were buffed. You can test it yourself. You can play with it online. It's very powerful. Beware, and I hope you have fun trashing people. If you'd like to check out my previous episode of In Depth, it's on accuracy myths. You can click the box on the left. It'll open in a new window. If you'd like to check out my next episode, which is going to be on Bouncing Betty versus Claymore, you can click the box on the right. That'll open in a new window. And as always, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.